Hi there, I'm Simon St. Laurent, Senior Editor at O'Reilly Media Inc. I'm also going to be co-chair of OSCON next year. We're bringing a lot of stories from the OSCON floor here. I've got Josh Long, who did a book for us on getting started with Rue and is the SpringSource developer evangelist. Tell us a bit about SpringSource. What brings you here? How does this all fit together?
SpringSource is the steward of the open source Spring framework and all the satellite projects that build upon the Spring framework, like Spring Social and Spring Batch and Spring Integration. We, of course, have a very large investment in open source, and we have for the last 10 years.
Right.
As part of a larger company now called Pivotal, we have an even bigger reach in open source. And so I feel like this is an amazing place to be. I've been a speaker here for 4 years. The people here are very passionate, and so when we can talk to them about Java, and this conference has now got a great Java presence as well. So that's what...
It seems like open source has really percolated well into the Java world, and Spring is a key part of that story.
Definitely.
Pivotal offers software support, all kinds of different pieces. Could you talk a little bit about that relationship to open source and building a business around it?
Sure. So Pivotal is the parent company. We're a new startup, launched in April. We're formed from the assets out of VMware and EMC.
Okay.
So we have, under our banner, we have the open source platform as a service, Cloud Foundry. We have RabbitMQ, the most widely used message queue in the cloud. It's language neutral, so invariably most of these people, PHP, Python, C, whatever.
It's a good fit for OSCON's.
Absolutely,
yes.
Polyglot friendly. Redis is a distributed data structure server. We also lead that project. It's used by some small mom and pop companies. You might have heard of like Facebook and Twitter and Stack Overflow.
Small mom and pop, yes.
Yep. We have Groovy, Grails. We lead the Grails project, for example, which is a rapid application development framework for the JVM.
Right.
And we have, what else do we have? We have a Hadoop distribution, Pivotal HD, and of course that's a very big part of our story. We have a Cetus analytics platform, which is based on Postgres. So we have a lot of great stuff, and it's all geared towards the developer. It's the API levels and up, platform and up,
Right, and it's basically all open source, and you sort of build your business around those expectations to start with.
All the original pieces, of course, are open source, and we're going to have an integration of all that stuff called Pivotal One, and we expect that to be out.
Is that sort of combining the pieces into a platform?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can tie these pieces together, of course, as you like right now, and none of these pieces require each other. Spring, of course, works just fine on any manner of environments, not to mention other people's clouds, all the different types of application servers, and in public static void main, and in unit tests. It's one platform that can bring it to all these environments without having to really change your programming model.
So you've been coming to OSCON for 4 years. You've seen sort of the Java group here grow.
Right.
What kind of, you just mentioned polyglot programmers too.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot of people here primarily Java plus other things, and you're obviously integrating Java into these things? How do those conversations go? You
couldn't have touched upon a better point. There's two factors I think that is driving this change. First, the cloud. Mm-hmm. The cloud is now, it enables people to think about the isolated sort of focused services that they need. So often as not, people are standing up one service, exposing it through some sort of web interface, web endpoint, or through messaging perhaps, and these applications are now distributed systems. Even the simple applications these days are invariably distributed systems. Even a basic web application, what we would have thought of it as a web application today is in fact JavaScript or some sort of client running out of process, talking to some back-end web endpoint, right? So this is very much a driver for people who are, taking advantage of the best tools for the job, and as often as not, that can be, it might be some other language for some other technology, and with things like Cloud Foundry, which runs, Node.js and Ruby on Rails and Python and PHP and Java and Groovy and Scala and, any number of other languages, R, Haskell, whatever. For things like Cloud Foundry, there's no reason you can't pick the best tool for the job and then integrate it with your application, right? So you decompose your application for scalability. When you mentioned polyglot programming as well, of course, who hasn't done JavaScript recently? I mean, we're all invariably polyglot programmers, So that's another factor is people are building very rich applications, and these things, the web, the UIs, the clients for these devices and for these applications, they don't all live on the web server. They live in your phone. They live on Android, iOS. They live in HTML5 powered mobile clients.
They're distributed across the server and all of these clients,
Yeah.
which may be different, which may have different pieces, and we just are getting used to that world.
So I don't know any application that is just completely homogeneous Java anymore. It's invariably it's going to be JavaScript at a minimum, maybe Java for Android, Objective-C for iPhone.
Right.
You kind of have to,
Right.
not to mention SQL and all these other specific dialects behind the scenes.
Well, good luck with an amazing integration task ahead of you. And
Thank you.
I hope the open source conversation keeps propelling you forward.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the community here. I enjoyed in particular, I enjoyed the BOF, the passion, the enthusiasm here. I just wanted to mention, we did a BOF yesterday. We were, after our time was up, the whole group followed me to another room and we continued talking for another hour and a half. The enthusiasm here is amazing. It's unlike anything else. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.